The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
And now at 10, we are following several breaking news stories. Thanks for joining us on Fox 61. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We begin tonight from East Hartford, where a fire investigation is happening right now. That fire started around 6 tonight.
Fox 61's Valerie Moravi has been on the scene gathering information all night long. So, Valerie, what's the latest?
Yes, well, it's been a couple of hours now, and fire crews have cleared up the scene, but construction workers are still out here. Also, fire crews told us a dog did die in the fire earlier, and up about what happened. Now, fire crews tell us that fire happened in the first floor of the house, which caused severe damage here on Delmont Road, and they were able to confirm that there was no one inside the house at the time of the fire. Now, East Hartford Assistant Fire Chief tells me they got a call from passersby about smoke coming out of the house around 5:30 this evening. Now, emergency crews conducted a search throughout the house to make sure the house was clear. However, they found 2 pets. The second dog is being treated at a local vet hospital. Now, Assistant Fire Chief Steve Alsop says one person was treated for minor injuries.
And that person was evaluated here on scene and is choosing to be evaluated on his own. And on arrival, we found fire coming out of the back windows. Made a strong push into the home to find active fire. We were able to get water on that fire very quickly, do our searches, confirm that nobody was home at the time and everybody was out safe. So, but the building has been placarded, which means it's uninhabitable.
Now, the family is being helped by the Red Cross, and the state fire marshal is now investigating the cause of fire. Reporting live in East Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
All right, Valerie, thank you. We're following more breaking news in Bristol tonight, where a bicyclist was hit by 2 vehicles and is now in critical condition. That crash happened on Birch Street just after 5:30 this evening. At this time, the road remains closed. Police say the victim is a 30-year-old man. Officials are searching for the car that left the scene. They believe it is a silver SUV with front-end damage. If you have any information, you are asked to contact Bristol Police. And we are following news from Portland, Oregon tonight, where 2 people are hurt after a shooting involving U.S. Border Patrol agents.
The shooting happened just after 2:15 p.m. outside a hospital. The county district attorney says the officers were responding to a traffic stop involving a reported undocumented Venezuelan immigrant. The DA's office is monitoring the investigation to ensure all evidence is preserved and the facts are fully determined, they say. Portland police say they're not involved in the shootings or in the shooting, and the FBI is taking over investigation. And just a day ago, an immigration and customs enforcement officer shot and killed a woman in Minnesota.
And tonight there's also intense mourning in the local community. This comes as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has authorized that state's National Guard to help support local law enforcement.
He's also called on federal authorities to work with state and local officials to de-escalate the tensions in the community. Lee Waldman has more on the investigation.
A group of women sing at a vigil Thursday in memory of Renee Nicole Good, killed in her vehicle in Minneapolis by an ICE agent. The mood outside of the memorial somber, where just one day ago, the 37-year-old mother's encounter with ICE turned deadly.
I can't imagine, that they, came home and their mom, isn't going to be there for them anymore.
The Department of Homeland Security has accused Good of attacking ICE officers with her car. Graphic video captures the moment it all unfolded. Federal agents drive up and approach Good's vehicle, telling her to get out of the car. One agent appears to pull on the door handle, and as Good starts to drive away, she is shot. While some in Minneapolis are mourning, some are protesting. Outside of a federal building, federal agents deploy a chemical agent. As protesters and law enforcement clash, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz called on protesters to remain peaceful.
We're not going to win this through violence. We're going to win it through justice. We're going to win it through compassion.
But Governor Walz referred to the event as a brazen use of force and says the Trump administration has excluded the state from the investigation. Vice President J.D. Vance joined the White House press briefing Thursday where he placed blame on Good and seemingly justified the agent's actions.
That guy's protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job.
In Minneapolis, Lee Waldman, Fox 61.
And we have some breaking news out of New Haven. We've just learned within the last 90 minutes, ICE officers arrested 3 people downtown.
According to the New Haven Police Department, they don't have exact locations for the arrests and say the department was not involved. This comes as dozens of protesters gathered outside the New Haven courthouse today, speaking against the Minneapolis ICE shooting. Fox
61's Kay Pattyfoot was on scene all evening, and she has more for us on what unfolded.
Dozens in the New Haven community gathered on these steps to speak out against ICE following the death of Renee Good.
We will not be silent.
We will not be silent.
ICE murdered Renee Good. Say her name, Renee Good.
Wednesday afternoon, an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good in Minneapolis, an incident that the Trump administration said was out of self-defense.
You have a woman who is trying to obstruct a legitimate law enforcement operation. Nobody debates that. You have a woman who aimed her car at a law enforcement officer and pressed on the accelerator. Nobody debates that.
Protesters in New Haven say otherwise.
It's tough to see and watch, but moments like this give me faith in that there's like an organized force ready to fight this.
Shame that this is happening under my name and with my tax dollars. It's just wrong.
Crazy, and that should not be happening.
Abdul Asamu was one of the speakers at Thursday's protest in front of the New Haven courthouse. Dozens showed up with signs and to make their voices heard.
Because ICE is still on our streets, kidnapping our neighbors, terrorizing our families, and acting like lawless thugs with badges.
Mayor Justin Elliker said he was heartbroken when he watched the video of Renee Good.
While it's deeply troubling what happened, it's also not surprising because, frankly, the federal government now is targeting communities like ours and around the nation with ICE officers that don't appear to have a lot of rules, oversight, are masked, and raining terror on communities, and that is just not okay.
In the wake of these protests, we've also heard from some state leaders who disagree. House Grand Old Party leader Vincent Candelora says rhetoric of this type only worsens tensions and encourages people to disregard orders from law enforcement. Some are worried that the way ICE is handling arrests will only get worse. They say it's important to speak up now. In New Haven, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. And for the latest developments on the Minneapolis ICE shooting and what's happening here in our state, stay with us on Fox 61 Plus, our free streaming app. The Connecticut State Police have launched an investigation into now former trooper over his conduct. Fox 61's Jalen Anderson has the latest.
An internal affairs investigation from Connecticut State Police resulted into a former officer being relieved of his duties. According to the Connecticut State Police, accusations were brought to them about a trooper who served as a school resource officer having an inappropriate relationship with a student at Vinyl Technical High School in Middletown. Former trooper Timothy Heroin was relieved of his duties. In a statement to Fox 61, CSP stated, leading up to his termination, Heroin reported to work in a non-patrol paid administrative capacity. We reached out to the Department of Emergency Service and Public Protection for comment and have not yet heard back. As the situation involves a minor, initial details are limited due to state law. State Police also added that when the initial accusations were brought forward, it was the priority of the Connecticut State Police to immediately remove TFC Heroin from his position as an SRO in order to protect any potential victim and other students. More details into the relationship between the officer and the student will be released at a later date. In Middletown, Jalen Anderson, Fox 61.
Right now, state police are investigating a deadly crash in Oxford earlier today. That crash happened on Route 67, also known as Oxford Road, just north of Rich Farm. The road was closed for several hours. Police say 63-year-old Sherry Sirkin was taken to Waterbury Hospital after the crash, and That's where she was pronounced dead. New developments tonight in the wrongful death lawsuit filed on behalf of Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia.
Timothy O'Keefe, the attorney for her estate, says they were in New Britain probate court yesterday, where the judge said the case should be moved to Farmington probate court. The transfer hasn't been accepted yet, but O'Keefe says he expects it to go through. Mimi's estate was given the green light early last month to file the $100 million lawsuit against the state and DCF. Court documents say her mother, her mother's then boyfriend, and her aunt all played a part in her death. Tonight, Danbury police are searching for the person who shot and killed someone last night. It happened inside a townhouse on Lake Avenue.
Now, police say the victim was shot through a common wall with a neighboring unit. Fox 61's Solene Arif talked to people in the area about the shooting.
Police were called to this tan townhouse around 8:30 Wednesday night. By the time they got here, whoever fired the gunshot was gone. Now they and the neighbors who live here have a lot of questions about what happened. Here on Lake Avenue, James Pope is wondering the same thing a lot of people are in Danbury. What happened at this house?
Kept hearing sirens outside, and then when a bunch of them all came to a stop, screeching kind of, I looked out the window and there were basically cops and emergency vehicles from my house all the way up the hill.
The victim, identified as 37-year-old Victor Quispy, was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Police say it was a single round that traveled through a wall at this house and hit him.
I did not hear any gunshots. My hearing's not that great to begin with, watching TV. The police were here till 1 o'clock sorting it out. They had it all taped off.
Pope says he shares his back driveway with the people who live at that townhouse. It's somewhere he greets his neighbors, not somewhere he thought would turn into a deadly crime scene.
I have a garden over on the other side, and so they wave to me, and we're generally pretty friendly with each other.
Back in August, police said another shooting happened along Lake Avenue where a man was shot in the neck.
It sucks. It's horrible. I mean, it's not a good thing, Gun violence is... I don't even know how to describe that.
Jay Carlson grew up in Danbury, and each time he hears about a shooting, he says it's disappointing.
People who don't really need them shouldn't have them or treat them like toys, but people are going to be people.
Police say this was an isolated incident, and they don't think there's any ongoing threat to the community. In Danbury, Solene Air, Fox 61.